Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean, and I want to talk today a little bit about the situation with Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, as we know, has been made the mandatory challenger for his WBO title, or at least he's going to be made the mandatory challenger. Um, right, so first of all, this is a piss take, obviously. There was already a mandatory challenger who's worked hard to get into position. He deserves his shot. He's done everything that has been expected of him, and he's done it. And now suddenly this overprivileged fighter comes in because he makes money for people and just steals the opportunity from him. So he's now going to miss out on his world title shot, having worked all his life, presumably. I don't know that much about him to get to this point. So yeah, I'm not impressed by it. I think it's a complete piss take. I feel very bad for the Kurt size. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, so apologies for that. But yeah, I do feel bad for him, and it just makes me, I don't know, it just sort of adds to my sort of growing contempt for Canelo and his team. And obviously, that people can say, oh, it's a sort of WBO, the whole thing, basically. But anyway, let's just get into the actual fight itself. I think people are massively underrating Billy Joe Saunders in this fight. I've heard a lot of people talking like, it's just going to be like easy work. He'll just go in there, walk in the park for him, just bash him up, take his belt, knock him out in a few rounds. Yeah, I can't see that at all. I don't see that. And I think Billy Joe Saunders has been his own worst enemy since he's won that belt in terms of his PR, his public image. It's been terrible. I made a video about it in the summer. It didn't go down very well. People thought I was hating on him, being too harsh. I don't think I was. I was talking about it from a perspective of how it looked rather than claiming to know exactly what was going on behind the scenes. But in terms of his image, then it was an all-time low. Now it's even lower. He won the belt, and then he didn't fight Golovkin. There was all these kind of people saying he was being offered like silly money. I don't know about that. I thought that was exaggerated, to be fair. And I could sort of see why he understood his value then and wanted more out of it. I didn't have a problem with that. But then, what I did think he kind of handled quite badly was the missed opportunity to fight on Canelo Alvarez, Liam Smith's undercard in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Massive stadium, huge audience, would have been great exposure against a name, Gabrazada. Yeah, he's not a world beater, but boxing fans, it seems to me, are obsessed with names rather than what they actually see a lot of the time. So any kind of name, it's like, oh yeah, they would have, it would have been good for him to fight on that, basically. He reportedly didn't want to fight Danny Jacobs. I don't know how true that is. But what I do know is that he hasn't fought any of these people since becoming the world champion. So there have been various reasons for it, but still, his image is at an all-time low. And after that last performance, where he looked very poor, arguably got a gift decision. And people are now thinking, he's just a nobody. I would say though that Akabov was a lot better than advertised. I think people, because you've never seen someone before, you never heard of him, you just assume that he's rubbish. But he did actually look pretty good. Saunders has already been out for a long time. He obviously, just looking at him and just listen, you can tell his lifestyle. Probably likes, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm English. I know the culture. I wouldn't be surprised if he, likes to have a few beers, a few curries, a few roast dinners. Too many. Do you know what I mean? And just doesn't strike me. Never has struck me as a very disciplined fighter, which obviously caught up. And if you're doing that for a whole year, you could just see that Akko, when he got into the ring, he looked like a real athlete, and he had a real engine on him, and he was just fighting hard for 12 rounds. Now I don't really remember the fight. I wasn't scoring it at the time, but if Akabov had won the fight, I definitely wouldn't have felt that was the wrong decision. It was is what it is. But this is in my opinion, not like one of the best in the world, but a decent opponent. So after that performance, people said, "Oh, now Canelo will just sort of knock him out in 4 rounds." Well, let's imagine like this Canelo has gone up to middleweight now to fight against Akabov in his first fight. Do you think he would just knocked him out in 4 rounds? I don't. To be honest, I think Canelo's a bigger name. I'm not saying that Akamov's better than him or as good as him, but I don't think he would have just sort of steamrolled through him either. I think people are really getting carried away. I think Billy Joe Saunders on his day is very, very good. Canelo's a good fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he does have quite an inflated record, in my opinion. He's got some good names on his record, and he is. I mean, he's got good wins. For example, I mean, he's beaten Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto was obviously very good, but he was much older, like too old, too small. He's been bashed up a couple of times pretty badly by Pacquiao, by Margarito, well past his best, significantly smaller, older. I'm not saying it's not a good win, but let's not get carried away either. Um, who else? Austin Trout was a good win, but without really watching the fight again, I'm not sure if Canelo even really won that fight. I mean, he definitely didn't win it convincingly. I saw that a long time ago. I haven't watched it again, or I haven't watched it recently, but I don't know. I mean, from what I remember, it could have easily been a draw or even gone the other way. It was that type of fight. So yeah, we're not talking like Canelo's just sort of dominating that division. I mean, he hasn't. Lara again. He beat Lara, I think, but a lot of people didn't think that he beat Lara, and Lara kind of threw it away. He didn't really do anything. He was just kind of moving away, avoiding, occasionally like hitting with something back, a few sort of straight punches, but nothing really. So again, yeah, it looks alright on paper, and I'm not saying it's not good, but it's not like, oh wow, he's done something amazing there. He's got a few other kind of names on his record. People like, I mean, Amir Khan. I mean, we don't need to get into that. Shane Mosley. Yeah, Shane Mosley was an amazing lightweight, a good welterweight, but he was, well past his best. Um, Very small. I think that was his first fight at that weight class as well. So yeah, again, it's okay, but nothing to write home about, in my opinion. Billy Joe Saunders has a style which is kind of similar, not similar to Lara, but he's very good. He's very evasive. He's slick. He's got very good defense. He's quick on his feet, and I could see him giving Canelo a lot of problems with his movement. He's not easy to hit at all. Canelo has got very good head movement, he's got very good upper body movement, and he's got fast hands, good combinations. But he is slow on his feet. And to be honest with you, I could see Billy Joe Saunders kind of doing what Lara did to him, but being a bit more aggressive at the same time and hitting him with more punches. I certainly don't see Canelo just walking straight through him and just taking him out. I don't. If Billy Joe Saunders wanted to, he could just get on his bike and do what Lara did. I haven't seen any evidence of Canelo being able to cut off the ring better than he did then. So I certainly wouldn't see that as a given that he's going to be able to do that. I think it's going to be very competitive. To be honest with you, if it does get made, I would think the most likely outcome, well, it will go to 12 rounds. I can't see Canelo knocking him out. He's got decent power. I mean, don't get me wrong. He sort of knocked out Liam Smith, who was kind of quite tough. Before that, obviously that's no disrespect to Amir Khan, but that's not much of an achievement for someone the size of Canelo. Um, he's sort of knocked out a load of people smaller than him. He's obviously got a decent punch on him, but Billy Joe Saunders has been in there with people like Andy Lee, hits a lot harder. Spike O'Sullivan probably hits a lot harder. Chris Eubank probably similar. I don't obviously know exactly, but I can't see him just knocking him out. I can't see him landing clean enough. I mean, if he hits him with an amazing punch, of course, but it's not that easy to do. And if he does, Billy Joe Saunders, from what I've seen, has got a pretty good chin. So I see this as going 12 rounds. Both of them have questionable stamina, in my opinion. Billy Joe Saunders tends to fade a bit late, whereas Canelo tends to kind of fight in spurts. So if Billy Joe Saunders is clever, which he is, he could kind of take the fight to Canelo when he wants and basically steal rounds. And Canelo's not the most active man in the world, so he could like get his punches off and then be away and keep doing that, and should really in a fair world, be able to win a points decision. Billy Joe Saunders at his best, which we don't know if he still is, I would pick him to win a 12-round decision. The problem is, this fight will obviously take place in America because Canelo is obviously a huge star in America. Billy Joe Saunders isn't a huge star in Britain, so the fight will obviously take place in America. So hands up all those who think that Billy Joe Saunders is going to get given a decision against Canelo in America. Nobody. So I can't see Billy Joe Saunders keeping the belt. I can see him either going there and losing fairly 12-round decision, but most likely I think he's going to win a 12-round decision and get robbed on the cards. If he's at his best. If he's not at his best, then he could lose, obviously. But that's what I think will happen. It just depends if his heart's really in it. I heard him talking the other day about he doesn't need the money. Particularly, he's obviously made like what he wants out of boxing. I question his commitment and his discipline. I think he likes to go out, have a few pints. He likes his food. Possibly a bit lazy. Canelo isn't like that. Canelo to me seems very, very committed, especially since he's got this. He's been associated with Golovkin. He knows that sooner or later, unless Golden Boy can keep protecting him, that Golovkin beating is coming. So that is a real motivation for him, I think, in the gym, and he is getting better. There's no doubt about it. You could see, like when he fought Floyd Mayweather, he's just absolutely schooled in that fight, and then after that, he started to wise up quite a lot. He learned a few tricks, and he is getting better. And I do see him as a very dedicated man. I think he's really, especially as I said, since he knows that Golovkin's after him, so to speak. So I think now he's really putting the work in, and he is, improving all the time. So that has to be factored in. But as it stands at the moment, both of them, from what I've seen at the moment, on top of their game, stylistically, I would favour Billy Joe Saunders to win on points, but get robbed on the cards. So I see Billy Joe Saunders in the middleweight towns as kind of stuck between a robbery and a hard punch, because the other roads lead to Golovkin, and I don't give him. Well, everyone's got a chance, but really against Golovkin, Billy Joe Saunders for me hasn't really got much of a chance at all. I don't see him winning that fight. So that's what I think is going to happen, because obviously, like Canelo, we've seen in the past, he's been very favoured by the judges, especially with this super fight coming with Golovkin and Canelo. If they are trying to make it, I mean, if obviously we know some people are trying to make it, it just depends how much Golden Boy are going to try and avoid it. But if they just think, well, it has to happen, we might as well make loads of money out of it, then it'll happen. And if that is the case, then Billy Joe Saunders got even less chance of getting a decision on the cards. To be fair, though, I mean, he arguably got a gift decision in his last fight. I mean, I have to watch it back again to really say that's a fact, but I suppose you could say what goes around comes around in that respect, if that is to happen. But yeah, anyway, that's all I've got to say on it. I've been pretty busy. I haven't made many videos. This will be the last one I make before Christmas. I'll try and get back on it in the new year. So for everybody who's watching, especially to my subscribers, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about it. Okay, thank you very much for watching.